this is the birthplace of pesto.
The views from up there on the terrace.
We could have stayed all day.
Which is, I think, cow stomach.
So you go from one spectacular view to the next.
Today, it's our first full day in Florence, but we're actually heading to meet our tour guide for a full day at Cinque Terre, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is made up of 5 small fishing villages, all of which we'll visit in one day. We hopped on a bus for a 2-hour drive up the coast to La Spezia, and then from there, we got on a train that took us to our first stop of the day, Monterosso.
We took the train from Monterosso to Corniglia,
Which is the third village.
third village in the middle. It was maybe a 2-minute train ride, if that. We took a nice little stroll through the middle of the city to where there used to stand a church, but now it's now
just
a balcony now overlooking the water, which was a gorgeous view. We could see Monterosso. We could see Monterosso from there, where we just were.
After the stroll, we came for lunch at a restaurant that our tour guide kind of put together, and you could go if you wanted to go somewhere else, you could, but we just went ahead and did the lunch with them because it was just easy.
Yeah, we got to have seafood pasta.
Seafood salad.
Seafood salad.
Which was just a plate of seafood, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah, which included
fried sardines, which I tried for the first time.
It was pretty good.
And it was good. It was,
you fry anything, it's
yes,
gonna
it was
be good.
way better than I thought.
Just the architecture was really unique. Yeah. And it's fried. You need fried food? Okay. It's good. It's fried. I know.
I'm gonna take a small bite.
Like France and stuff, it's recommended that if you do it in like another country.
That's a trip.
Yeah, it's like
And then we had pesto pasta.
I was just talking to Clint about this, that I think it might have moved up on my list to number 2 because I don't think anything's gonna beat the carbonara in Rome that Clint got, but this was really good. And this is the birthplace of pesto. Now I gotta go find me some to bring home.
Yeah, and the pesto, it had like green beans and potatoes.
Oh, it was so good. So highly recommend.
Definitely prepared us. We're about to hike to the next village, and I think it's fueled us for what we're about to do next.
And I think it's 1.8 miles or just under 2 miles. I'm not sure, but yeah. So we're gonna hike off for lunch.
Looking forward to the views on this hike. So at the halfway point on the hike from Corniglia to Vernazza,
Yeah, Vernazza.
You come to a bar called,
I think it's called Bar El Gabbiano or Bar 2 Gabbiano. I'm not really sure. It's IL or 2L, I don't know.
Coming from Corniglia, you arrive at the terraces first, but you got to go down to the bar, and you have to go to the bar to use the terrace. From there, You go all the way down the steps into this little bitty bar to get a lemon slushie, and they were so good. Also, the lemon slushie was 350 euros each, and they prefer you pay cash. And even more so, they would prefer you pay with exact cash. The views from up there on the terrace.
We could have stayed all day.
Yes, but we've got to continue the hike now to Vernazza, where we hear there's some pretty good gelato, so there's our motivation to leave. When I thought of vegetation in Italy, cactus and cacti was not high on my radar. Stuff like this was. I don't know if you could hear the birds in the background, but it feels like they're piped in like the masters. They're just constantly chirping and singing, and I don't know what a songbird sounds like.
I've been called the songbird of my generation.
I imagine that they're songbirds and they just constantly singing the whole walk down here.
Okay, so we just took the hike, or did the hike over to Vernazza, and we had about 45 minutes until we had to get on the train to the next village. So we got some gelato.
Of course.
And it was good, and it melted really fast, but it was good.
We are at the Gelateria Vernazza, where I got pistachio and coconut.
And I got fig and ricotta and some kind of fruit.
And
but it's melting very fast.
And it's hitting the spot after a long hike. Yeah.
And then we just kind of walked around, and you can actually, like, behind us there's a place you can kind of swim, and especially on a hot day.
And there's a lot of, looks like there's a lot of great restaurants, and you can just smell the seafood. Also, if you haven't noticed, Vernazza is a lot busier than the other villages we've been to. Okay, so our fourth stop in Cinque Terre is Monterosso.
It's the last village.
Yes. When we got here, we first stop we did was we did a wine tasting from all 5 lands or all 5 villages.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. Good start. Then we went right next door and got a Pan Frita, which was pizza dough fried with cheese
mozzarella,
in it.
yeah.
And
so
it
good.
was so good. I will say, I wasn't when I was like, it's just, I mean,
how good can it really? But the dough
was so good. It was almost
the
sweet.
dough was sweet. Yeah, it was like, oh, it was good. Definitely
really
come
good.
get it. It's only €2.
Yeah,
and they're
€2.
big. You can share it. It's good.
Yeah, when we saw how big they were, now I wish I'd gotten my own.
Yeah.
And then after that, we stopped at this little pesto laboratory store.
Yeah, to pick up some pesto.
Pesto to take home, and then ended at, what was the name of that patisserie?
I don't know.
It's a little bakery.
Yeah, that has the special like Monterosso
pie.
Monterosso
Which
pie.
is like just a normal pie crust with like a custard and chocolate.
And then like more crust. Like it was just like a layered. It was so good. And she warmed it up for us.
Yeah,
it was great.
It was so good.
But one thing to note about Monterosso, if you don't know, back in 2011, they had a really bad rain here. And it like basically flooded, came down the mountain and flooded, and it was like a whole mud rain event. And you can actually see how high it went in 2011.
Yeah.
You probably YouTube or look up articles on it, but it's just crazy how it pretty much devastated the city and how much the village, and how they've grown back so fast. And so definitely come.
We're about to board a boat now that's going to take us back to the first city, which we kind of skipped when we started. So we're going to end in the first city, the village furthest to the south, which is
Riomaggiore.
So we're going to head that way now, but hopefully the boat ride is going to give us some beautiful views of the coast from the water.
So we just got back to the first village, Riomaggiore. We took the boat, or the ferry, from Monterosso all the way back. And now we're just waiting on the train. Here it comes.
Not our train.
Not our train. So our train leaves in like 10 minutes, and then we'll head back to La Spezia to take the bus back to Florence.
Yeah. You know, I don't think Lauren and I, either one of us, really knew what to expect today, but the day has flown by.
In a good way.
And it's been so fun, but it's been so fast-paced, and you go from one spectacular view to the next, one town to the next, and it's been an incredible day. So if you're in Florence, or if you even want to come stay here, I would even recommend it. There are so many times we would be here and be like, I wish I was staying here.
Yeah, I think you definitely should dedicate, a couple days if you can fit it in. It's definitely worth it. But if you can only do a day trip, like I know out there it's like, oh, a day trip is too much because it's like 2 hours. But honestly, like, do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Just do it, because especially if you don't know if you'll have a chance to come back to Italy, just do it, because it's totally worth it.
And we used walkabout tours.
Yes.
And our tour guide, there's been several tour guides in our group, and one of them I was just nodding to our tour group guide. He's checking us all in. But they have taken great care of us. You know, we're
Yeah.
a big group, and
There's 33 of us, and so
for one guy. And then there's 3 groups, so there's probably close to 100 of us.
And I mean, but he's been great, and
Yeah.
he keeps everybody on time and lets us know what time we need to be here and where, and he gives us recommendations.
He's
for
good
things.
at balancing like the stories and some history, like what you're looking at, but also giving you the freedom to kind of do what you
Yeah.
want to do in Rome and go where you want to go, take pictures and go to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
definitely would recommend the walkabout tour group.
Yes.
But now, once we catch this train and hop on the bus back, we're gonna head back to Florence. It's been a fun day, but it's been a long day.
Yeah.
It's been a hot day.
Yeah, and we might have to stop at the Central Market on the way home to get some casual food, something.
Yeah,
So
check out something there.
So we'll see what we can find.
Yeah.
So we just got back to Florence. We headed over to Central Market. We actually ended up at a place called Trapezzino. I would best describe it as sandwich or a pizza sandwich.
So I was still hungry after Trapezzino and picked up a Florentine tripe panini, which is, I think, cow stomach, their first or second stomach, which is basically like eating first class. Here we go.
Kind of looks like a sloppy Joe, cause
Tastes fine. We are in Corniglia.
Corniglia.